Hi guys, Diane is here. My next guest, her name is an artist, and her name is Angela. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, Angela Rose Walling. Hello.
What do you do? What kind of art do you do?
Well, I do abstract. I do colorful, very colorful abstract. My paintings come like from the heart. I'm very like it's whatever I'm feeling. The music, kind of just whatever. Whatever's kind of in the mood or the whatever's like happening in my life at the time.
How does it come to you? Like you're in the middle of some event, or you're like sometimes when I go to sleep, when I'm laying in bed, it's like, oh, I need to do
Oh
something.
yeah, that's
What
always,
about you?
always. Yeah, I usually just a lot of it just kind of depends the mood I'm in. Like sometimes I might have a stressful day, or sometimes I might have a happy day, or just want that release, or and sometimes it's themed, or
Hmm.
depending on like maybe it's summertime, I want to paint like a beachscape just because it's summer, or
Hmm.
or it
Hmm.
might be winter and I'm painting a beachscape because I'm ready for
Yes.
the beach.
Yes, yes. Do you do sketches before you paint?
Not really. I know some because mine are kind of abstract, so I don't really. I've always struggled with the drawing. That's what
Mm-hmm.
kind of got me into the
Mm-hmm.
abstract,
Mm-hmm.
and took me was taking me longer to get into the art world
Okay.
was because I'm not good at drawing. But I definitely. I mean, I try to get kind of an idea, like with my colors and the music and the mood, and it just kind of depends on what I'm painting.
I don't know why. Like your art is so colorful. I don't know why you had difficulties, but I see it as just it's beautiful. And I don't see like, here's my thing. Art is different. Can you draw or not? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
art should not be that hard to try to get in. Like this should not be even the thing.
Yeah. Well, it's art. Art comes from your heart. It's yourself. It's
Exactly.
expression of yourself. So, everybody's just going to be different.
Yes.
Everybody has a different, like, my art. Not everybody. Yeah. I mean, there are some people who don't. I like when I first started, they were like, a lot of juried events I didn't get into and stuff like that. But then I could go to a market and sell a painting. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, they like it just because, I don't have a master's. But to me, it doesn't matter because I just enjoy painting. The selling part really to me is just because, if art supplies were free, I'd give my art away, if I
Yes.
didn't have to pay for my art. And that's the only
Yes.
reason,
Exactly.
the rent on the studio and the materials. If I was able to, because when I first started painting, I did oils, um, small ones. I just paint it for my friends. And,
Yeah.
like if you collected palm trees, then I would paint a palm tree for you and give it to
Mm-hmm.
you. Or you had like a Southwestern theme or beach theme. And I would just give them to my friends and family,
Mm-hmm.
anybody that
Mm-hmm.
wanted it. Of course, after a while. So once I started doing the bigger ones, but my art is pretty affordable. And I mean, it's nice to get the monetary, from it, but that's not the reason I'm in it. And
Yes.
I fully believe that most artists, that's not their main goal.
That's not.
Because if that
No.
was to me, if that was my main goal was to make money, I would it wouldn't be in art. I would go to like finance or
Yep.
something
Yep.
more productive.
Can you um tell me about your art journey?
Oh, my art journey. So I grew up in a very creative household. My mom has a master's in art, and my sister has one. I think she has like a associate or bachelor's in art also.
Mm-hmm.
So like growing up, my mom always took us to museums, and she was very very creative. She can not just paint; she can like draw. She can watercolor. She can uh, sing. She can write music. She's actually working on like a symphony right now. Just everything. She any kind of crafts, all kinds of stuff growing up. And then my other sister, one of my sister has, she has a degree in art, but she kind of switched more to like the psychology side. She wanted to do more like the art therapy, and so
Mm-hmm.
that's what she's in California. She does more of that. And then my other sister, my oldest sister, she does like a more crafty. She does a lot of like
Mm-hmm.
jewelry and crafts, and she paints, but it's a little different.
Mhm.
Just always been creative my whole life. And then there was this place called Jomar's Visions, and when they opened up, that's where I got my first big start. Because I used to come to the art galleries with my girlfriends. We used to go to like Hardy and Dance, and here actually Winter Street, before I even thought of having a studio,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
less a really cool one.
Yes.
Um, and so Joanna, the owner, she was like, "Yeah, come on, come on. I know you're an artist. Let's, get in there, and it's only $20 to hang." So I was like, "Okay." So I did it, and it was like ever since then, it was like a wave hit, and I just got swept away. And because when I didn't just submit a piece, it's like I had to have business cards, I had to have a website. There's a lot to it, to establish.
Yes.
And once I established that, then it's like, well, I'm already here. I'm already in the game, on the
Yes.
road. So I just, it's been 10 years now, November 2015. So that's how long it's been. It's been a wild ride, but it's going. I'm still here. So I keep telling myself I'm still here. I must be doing something right. Yeah.
Do you remember your aha moment? The
Yes.
artist aha moment, and we all know that that moment. We all know.
Yeah, I think it was when I did the Joe Mars.
Okay.
Once I kind of like got all that going, once it started going, then I was like, now it makes sense. I am an artist. I've been saying I was an artist, but I never like believed it until then. And then once I knew that that was like, this is what I want to do, and like this makes sense. I'm like, now it makes sense why I'm, messy, and why I'm, creative, why I, am who I am. It's because I'm an artist. So then it kind of was kind of cool, because then it gave me kind of like an all time, you know, excuse card.
Yes.
Well, I'm an artist. Of course I'm messy. Of
I
course
use
I'm.
that. I use
I have
that.
my moments. Because I'm an artist. So it kind of like it made sense. Now everything kind of, it's like it clicked.
Yes. I had that feeling as well. Uh, I don't remember when it was, but when I realized, I'm like, okay, this is why I was driving my hairdresser crazy. She's like, I'm like, no, this is not, this is the wrong tone. See the photo? She's
Yeah.
like, no, I don't. How can you not see? It's a different tone. And so I'm like, oh, now because I see something other people don't,
Don't, because you
right?
see the
You
colors.
see
Yeah.
colors, and then like, oh my God, that was an answer.
And that was me too. Like I've always noticed like the icing, like the stuff in the room, but a lot of people don't even pay attention. But I will know. I've always noticed like art and stuff whenever I go to places or people's houses or anything like that. I always notice the little touches. That's always caught my eye. And a lot of people don't see that.
Hmm.
I think that's definitely the artist's vision for sure.
Oh yes, oh yes. It's more maybe an emotional level, emotional energy,
Yeah.
and you and me we've been talking about that so many times. Do you remember your first sale, or how did you feel like first sale? Okay.
So my first sale was, technically it was my first sale, but technically it kind of wasn't, because I had donated a painting for a benefit for one of my
Hmm.
friends who was battling cancer. So so it was one of my first like kind of really like kind of landscapes and stuff, and it was for a good cause. But the thing was that it really was exciting. Not only did it sell, is that people were actually fighting over it. I
Hmm.
mean, it went a lot for the auction. It raised a lot of money, and that made me feel good, because I'm giving back. And to me, that's
Hmm.
what artists also, it's a give back. I got this talent, and I want to give it back to the world too. Because I think it's something that we don't really, it's not really something for us just to keep to ourselves. We have this gift that's kind of made for us to, share it with everybody.
Hmm.
And so that was really nice. It was fun that, I was able to make the sale. And then the second one was actually to a good friend of mine. Um, so it was technically, that would be like the first sale. But then actually for me, kind of like the professional sale was to another friend, but at the time I didn't know him that well. Um, kind of bought, he looked at my website and he's like, I was trying
Mm-hmm.
to buy your painting off your website and it wouldn't let me. And I was like, well, which one are you talking about? And he's like, this one. I was like, oh, okay. So that to me was kind of like my official big, because it was one of my
Mm-hmm.
biggest paintings I had ever painted at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And, and then he became an art collector and other people. So, I mean, I've done pretty decent. I can't complain on that. I've sold quite a few. And to me, I don't really, me, it's finding the connection, because I'm going to paint regardless, whether I sell or
Yes.
not. I'm going
Yes.
to paint what I feel and what I want. And just, that's part of me. It's like a daily, like people drink coffee and go for jogs or go work out at the gym. Mine is I get in my room, I get in my home studio and I paint and I get messy. I'm still messy.
Same, same.
And I just paint and whatever comes out, and that's what I like to do. And it started out like just kind of something to do during the week, like a weekend. At the time, my late husband, he was disability, and so we couldn't really do a lot, and we were struggle financially because of that too. So that would be my Friday night. Give me some wine, give me a glass of wine, put some nice jazz music, get the painting
Mm-hmm.
out, and that was my fun. And
Yes.
then, eventually, it evolves to different, but yeah, that's what got me started. That's kind of where I came here. Yeah.
From all artists, who would be your favorite or the first big of art collaborate with?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I like Van Gogh has always been my favorite. I love Dali, Picasso, a lot of the greats, Renoir, so
But
many.
one, that
But
one.
yeah, I think the one would definitely be Bob Ross, because that guy, he's the one that taught me how to paint. I mean, I've done some classes and workshops and stuff online, but he's the one that paint the happy trees, and he was the one that there's no mistakes. It's only happy accidents. It's only because that's life too. Not only you may think it's a mistake, but sometimes it's actually a blessing in
A
disguise.
good thing,
You know,
yes.
and I think he would be fun. He would have been a fun to have a couple glasses of wine with and paint some happy trees and some friendly clouds and some rustling brooks and just and he was one too. When I read about him, I saw some documentaries on him, and he was actually in the military. He was like a sharpshooter, like a one of the best. And
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
want to say, like, I don't know if it was Vietnam or Korea. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those. And when he got out of the military, he didn't want anything to do with it. That's why he started painting. He started painting, and then he started doing the classes, and then he started doing the shows, which was very popular,
Yes, yes.
back in the day for sure. And that was him, and it's funny because you would never have guessed that when you see him and the way he is, that you didn't know. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's too with art. I've talked to other artists too. I think we all have, like, I want to say, quite like a dark side, maybe a little damaged side or something in us, that's why we create the way we create, because it's like something happened to us.
Our finding our happy
Yeah.
place.
And sometimes it's through struggles, or trauma.
Trauma, yes. So emotional support that comes out natural,
Yeah.
like without having a therapist or anything like that.
Yeah. Art therapy is definitely good. My studio mate, she does art therapy, and I think it's very healing. Art is very, very healing.
Yeah. And talking to artists is very healing.
Yeah.
I tell
Definitely
you
get your
that.
inspiration. Like, one of my good friends, artists, that was one of we came up, we were talking, and she was like, "Yeah." I'm like, I think we're all kind of damaged. We are like, yeah, maybe all us are kind of not really damaged to say, but I think that's what makes us art. Something in our souls that just feels like, a need for more, or a need to express, to get our voice out there.
Yes, that's true. Well, I know that something exciting is coming.
Oh, yes.
Yes, let's maybe
So I'm having a fashion show April 26th, 8 to 10 in the studio. It's called Tropical Realm Fashion Show. If y'all don't know that I actually incorporate my art into fashion. So I do. There's like, I have different clothes, styles, and I'm going to have a bunch of swimwear. Oh, it's going to look so great. I'm so excited. The swimwear is really cool. It's going to be, I have some really amazing models. It's going to be a DJ. We'll have, some wine. We'll have a little bar. It'll be a lot of fun. I'll have the ticket information. I'll give it to you.
Absolutely. I'll
get
put
tickets online. Everybody's welcome.
Yes.
It's, yeah, I'm really excited. So I've been working really hard on this one. And so I'm really excited about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me a chance to talk to you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate this.
Thank you. With being patient, my battery died.
Yeah.
It was like repeat kind of moment.
That's all right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're a sweetheart.
Oh, you're wonderful. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll do it again.